transport policy. Thank you.
Call Jami-Lee Ross.
Mr Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to speak on this bill. Mr Speaker, I think it's a bill which will go down very well in this House once the full Select Committee process has been through, once all parties get an opportunity to fully consider the exceptional benefits that can come from this bill, and we have an opportunity to go out there and consult with the public on the benefits of the bill. Mr Speaker, $3 billion approximately annually from central government is spent on transport, and from local governments approximately $1.5 billion. We need to ensure that we're getting best value for money with our transport regime that's in place. We need to also ensure that we lower the compliance costs where we can, and Mr Speaker, this bill seeks to do that. I want to pick up on a few comments about the roads of national significance, and I particularly heard one from Julianne Genter just before. She was making some comments about Greece and about how we may run into a situation where we end up with motorways which are empty. Well, I have to say I realise she's a little newer to Auckland than I am, but I don't know any motorways in Auckland that are empty except for in the dead of the night. And Mr Speaker, Aucklanders in particular, along with many New Zealanders around the country, are crying out for even greater investment in infrastructure, transport infrastructure around the country. They're crying out for greater investment into roading infrastructure around this country. And Mr Speaker, New Zealanders have endorsed our plan for roads of national significance. They've welcomed the roads of national significance policy. And as David Bennett has spoken about, people in parts of the country have been waiting years for some of these projects to go ahead. Let's remember that 92% of freight in this country moves on roads. Let's remember that we want to build a stronger economy in this country. Let's remember the economic potential that these roads of national significance will help to open up. Let's remember the New Zealanders who rely on good quality infrastructure to operate their businesses, to get to work, to get their families to and from engagements around their cities and around the country. Mr Speaker, New Zealanders are welcoming this policy, and we're proud to stand behind it. Mr Speaker, the great panacea, the great project that the opposition and some people in Auckland are proposing to solve all the transport problems in Auckland is the CBD rail loop. Let's remember that in 2041, the CBD rail loop will only remove 1,400 cars from the road out of 29,000 cars that will be travelling on the road. Let's remember that their great hope for transport change in Auckland would see transport benefits of only about $300 to $400 million, based on approximately $3 billion project. The projects that we're spending money on, Mr Twifford, the projects that we're putting funding into, the $12 billion that this government is investing in roads of national significance, the $3 billion annually that we spend on transport every year, the $3 billion which is going into better quality infrastructure that the Labour government underfunded, underspent on, didn't put a priority on, the infrastructure that New Zealanders are crying out for and are looking to this government to continue. Mr Speaker, the roads of national significance is a policy which is worthwhile continuing. It has been endorsed by the voters at election time and will be able to see implemented further through the passage of this bill. There are other important provisions in this bill around changing the purpose, getting a more effective and efficient and safe transport system. By combining planning documents, we'll see more efficiency gained. By giving NZTA the opportunity to borrow further if the opportunity arises where future projects can be looked at earlier than expected, and by simplifying the tolling process that organisations have to go through if they wish to consider a tolling project. That'll enable more cost-effective tolling projects to be proceeded with. Mr Speaker, this is a good bill. It deserves to be supported by the opposition. If they don't support it tonight, they should at least look at it properly through the Select Committee process. If anyone will be ashamed at the end of this process, it will be those people if they don't support a good piece of legislation which allows greater investment in important transport infrastructure around the country.
Call Brendan Horan.
Thank you, Mr.